Hey guys, get ready because we're about to take it to the mic stand. Okay, so now that we're so without no further ado, let's get started. As I've got a couple of interesting stories to go through on this edition on Tuesday Talks here on this edition of the mic stand. Without no further ado, let's get going here. I'm sure people will file in as we get going here. So, so I'm gonna just do a couple of stories tonight here. In that these stories are somewhat connected to each other. So, without no further ado, let's get started here. A new report indicates that DC Comics and DC Universe are undergoing massive layoffs, um, with multiple high-level executives being let go. This new report from the Hollywood Reporter comes just days after Warner Media CEO Jason Kilar um, explained that he was restructuring the company in order to streamline decision making. Not only did he explain the restructuring was to streamline decision making, but he also told the Hollywood Reporter it was to adapt to market changes. Yeah, I believe those market changes are the fact that they've been losing sales for the last couple of years because of the agenda pushing that they're doing. Um, Kalar stated, so what these changes are largely about is me feeling very strongly that where a media company should go in terms of the future is to orient themselves as a consumer oriented company as opposed to an artist oriented company that where you have artists sitting there bad mouthing their consumers and trying to shove an agenda down their mouth instead of giving them the escapism. Um, he then detailed these. He then detailed these changes represent prioritizing three different things. Number one, a consumer orientation far more than a wholesale orientation. Number two, going direct to consumer. And number three, going global. So I think in summation, it's basically listening to your consumers, listening to what they want in a product, and what they what they're wishing to spend their money on, instead of being told what to spend their money on, and then of course applying that to a worldwide um, audience, obviously. Um, Talar was also asked if there would be layoffs, and he noted there would be. He stated, "We're not talking about layoffs specifically, but obviously there will be layoffs, just given the nature of what we're doing here." As you can see, the cover here, Joker War Part 2, DC Universe 96. Um, well, it looks like those layoffs came sooner than expected for DC Comics and DC Universe. Now, I know Yellow Flash had also covered this earlier today in a video. Um, he was talking about how right now DC only has like 3 titles in the top 10 sales wise, and then and then you don't really start seeing a whole lot of other DC titles until you get down into like the high 30s, early high 30s, early low 40s. So that's being played up quite a bit there. Um, so here's some more from the article. The Hollywood Reporter reports that editor in chief Bob Harris, senior vice president of publishing strategy and support services Hank Knauls, vice president of marketing and creative services Jonah Weiland, vice president global vice president of global publishing initiatives and digital strategy Bobby Chase, senior story editor Brian Cunningham, and executive editor Mark Doyle were all axed. Again, this is a major editorial shakeup at DC. In fact, they report that roughly 1/3 of DC's editorial ranks are being laid off, according to sources. A separate report from Bleeding Cool's Rich Johnston also detailed a number of others who were axed, including editor Andy Corey, and we're going to be talking about him a little bit more later on in the other article I'm going to be reading. I'm going to be going through, going to be reviewing later. Jim Lee's executive assistant Eddie Choi, international publishing, ad sales, and custom creative studios Sandy Resnick, marketing director Sarah Haskell. Johnston added that director of publicity Michael Schelling and vice president of comic book specialty and newsstand sales Jim Skolowski also lost their jobs. While DC Comics was significantly hit, the Hollywood Reporter also adds that insiders also say the majority of the staff of the streaming service DC Universe has been laid off, a move that had been widely expected as Warner Media shifts its focus to new streaming service HBO Max. Layoffs also hit DC Direct as well, um, according to the Hollywood Reporter's report. Basically, it sounds like they're just cleaning house here. They basically just took out all the brooms and they're just cleaning house here. Okay. As for Jim Lee, it appears he will remain as the chief creative officer for now. However, Bleeding Cool's Rich Johnston indicates that Lee will eventually transition out of the position. He details that Marie Javins, who is the current executive editor of Global Publishing Initiatives and Digital Strat, and current vice president and executive editor of DC Children, Young Adult, and digital, and current vice president and executive editor of DC Children, Young Adult, Michelle Wells, have been promoted to run DC Comics Publishing and will report directly to Jim Lee. As for how this will affect DC Comics lineup, Johnston indicates Batman, Justice League, and Superman will more than likely continue, as well as their digital line and their original graphic novel line. Basically, yeah, I would say that most of the major characters from the Justice League franchise will still continue. That's one of the indications that's been talked a lot about. A lot of the main characters. He also notes that DC Comics will put a greater emphasis on digital and bookstore rather than comic book shop. So basically, what they're saying here is that they're going to probably focus more of their sales on either online digital copies of the comics or selling them in bookstores as opposed to selling them that's at least what it sounds like they're doing there. These layoffs come after AT&T CEO Randall Stevenson detailed on the company's third quarter conference call with investors back in October 2019 that the company had no sacred cows. Stevenson explained, "We're committed to an objective, diligent, and disciplined process. We'll analyze merits of each of our businesses individually and as part of the whole. But let me be clear, we have no sacred cows." Kind of sounds like to me the higher ups are sick and tired of losing money. I think they're getting sick and tired of the get woke, go broke, business model. I think they're finally just hello anonymity. Hey, evening, my hey anonymity. Welcome to the stream. I'm glad you're here. Um, I got started like right away tonight. Over the next few days here, I'm going to be getting started. Well, I kind of already told you I was going to be doing that anyways, but I'm going to be actually for the next few days trying to keep these under hour and a half because I just found out something. Um, I'm on the free plan here, which means I'm limited to 20 hours. So, but I'll be upgrading later this week. But but as of now, for now, let's get back to like just to get you kind of caught up on what I'm talking about here. Just going through an article and bounding into comics about the DC Comics layoffs. No worries, I'm off now and got a full belly. Okay, so hopefully, you know, um, hopefully you can help me out by, of course, liking and commenting and or liking and sharing. And it looks like you did already. Um, liking and sharing the link to where we can get more people in here. Hopefully. But anyways, back to the article here. Let's see. I already read that part. I already read. Yeah. Basically, just to just to go, just kind of summarize what I've already read. Basically, sounds like some of the higher ups at DC have finally got tired of the get woke, go broke business model, and it sounds like they're basically cleaning house. I know Yellow Flash was did a video on it earlier. I'm going through the Bounding into Comics article here, just giving my own 2 cents. And then I'm doing one other article too from Bounding into Comics that kind of is a link to kind of is linked or associated with this article. So hold on a sec. All right, I'm back now. So let's get back to this. I'm gonna move this up. Here's a Wonder Woman cover. He even indicated that fat trimming would be on the horizon. He stated, "We have routinely pruned the portfolio of assets that don't contribute to our core strategy. In fact, when you conclude what we've done in 2019, we've monetized more than 30 billion in non-strategic assets over the last few years. You should expect continued evaluation of our businesses and more progress on diverting assets that are no longer core to our fundamental mission," he added. I think translation, some of these woke artists and writers don't represent the company or don't represent the vision that this guy has for the company. That's what that's I think the translation there. More recently, in March, there was speculation that DC Comics might actually be sold off or see its characters licensed off to other publishing companies. Motley Fool writer Leo Sun would even detail that DC Comics publishing business wasn't worth a lot to AT&T, claiming it only accounted for 0.2% of AT&T's annual revenue, while Sun would write that it doesn't really matter if the company keeps or sells the business. He argued that they would more than likely keep it because the comic book storylines could still provide valuable fodder for future TV and film products at Warner Media, which could be if they did it right, if they, instead of trying to push, PC agendas and all that, they got back to the classic storytelling that DC was known for. You know, what do you make of these reported massive layoffs at DC? Anonymity. What do you? What's your take on the, as I said, the massive layoffs at DC? What do you think about all a lot of those people getting fired, getting laid off? About time. Yeah, probably is about time. It is about time. Again, you know, eventually you start losing money, and somebody up top is going. Somebody up top is going to basically say, you know something, this is stupid. Why are we losing money like this? All them fake virtue signalers can leave. Well, I think that's exactly what they're doing. I think that's exactly what that guy Randall Stevenson basically said he's doing. He's just and one of those guys, Andy Corey, he's gonna be kind of mentioned in the next article I'm gonna read off here. I don't know if you probably heard about um the whole hoopla over the Wonder Woman comment. Looks like we have a third person in here. Hello, third person. And who has joined us? Wonder who has joined us now. Just to get the third person caught up, I just went over an article from yeah, I just went over an article revolving around the massive layoffs at DC Comics. Basically, in summation, I think there are some higher ups at DC are not happy about the way things have turned out in this the get woke, go broke business model. I think they've finally got the brooms out and started sweeping out the cobwebs and the dust and the dirt and all the garbage and you know um I think that's pretty much the gist of all that. So all right, well, hopefully whoever has joined us will say something, will say hi or something. But anyways, so I'm gonna move on here to the next story I'm covering for tonight. As soon as we that. And this story is kind of linked to the one I just read. Um, let's see. Oh, the video just went out there, huh? Hey there, me. Yeah, I'm seeing it here. Oh boy. All right. Something just went out with my video here. Hey there, me again. um, my. Can you guys still see? Can you guys see? Still see the video on your end? Hey there, me again. My, how Wonder Woman has grown. Yep. Um, I'm going, of course, back and forth between the stream yards. Oh, there we go. There we go. Now, hey, Bat Goat. Hey, man, how you doing, man? Hey, Mike. Hey, Anon. I'm tired. We'll see how long I last. Um, yes, I see the video. Okay, now, yeah, now it just came through. Um, again, I know Bat Goat just joined us. And I know I just went over it with. So I've already gone through the first story I was talking about tonight. You guys might have heard about the massive layoffs in DC. Basically, in summation, I think some of the higher ups decided to get the brooms out and sweep out the garbage. I'm good. Good to be here. Yeah, I'm glad you're here, Bat Goat. And thank you guys for liking the stream and sharing it. Hopefully, we can start getting some more people in here and get some good conversations. Hey, Bat Goat, I feel you there. Catching up myself, resting my eyes tonight. Um, yeah. So, um, Woody, I don't. Woody, I would hope that if you haven't already, you'll more. I would hope that you would consider subscribing. That way, you can get the notifications that much faster if you're not subscribed already. Um, Glad to have you here, though. Glad to have all you guys here. So, so we got 4 people here now. Good. That's I think the most I've had thus far since I started doing this, doing the nightly live streams. So I'm glad you guys are here. Thank you. Thank you guys for being here. So let's get to this next article. This next article kind of is linked to the other article that I just read. Artist Robin Eisenberg responds to criticism of DC Comics and Rooster Teeth's Wonder Woman 1984 variant cover. Rooster Teeth. Some people might say enough said right there. So here we, yeah, okay, going back and forth here. You guys can see me scrolling down the thing there. Yes, ice creams are what have you. Okay, so let's get going here. Artist Robin Eisenberg responded to criticism of her DC Comics and Rooster Teeth's Wonder Woman 1984 variant cover. The cover was shared to the DC Nation Twitter on August 7th, which was of course Friday. And I do know that there was a lot of coverage. I know that Yellow Flash, I think, did a video on it. I think Hero Hey might have done a video on it too. Actually, maybe not Hero Hey, but I know it got talked about quite a bit. Actually, I do know that Yellow Flash actually did talk about it on a stream on Saturday. And give me a sec, guys. I gotta get a little more. Okay, so yeah, with that, and this is the cover that they're talking about. You know, a lot of people were suspecting that maybe Miss Eisenberg was trying to push an agenda. Oh, okay. So, anyways, back to this. It was quickly ratioed, with many fans responding to the post, expressing their distaste and noting that the character looked nothing like Wonder Woman. Um, yeah, I mean, okay, a little historical fact for you guys. Little interesting tidbit. The now you guys have probably heard me mention this before. The um the guy who originally created Wonder Woman was a man by the name of William Moulton Marston. Okay, he was a psychiatrist. Aside from, of course, from creating Wonder Woman, he also created the lie detector. He was also the inventor of the lie detector. He modeled Wonder Woman after his wife and mistress. So just kind of a heads up. If you guys go back to like the older Wonder Woman comic, if you go back and if you happen to track down some issues of like Sensation Comics or some of the very first, Golden Age Wonder Woman comics, you know, Wonder Woman was modeled after his wife and and his mistress. I'm pretty sure he would not be too happy with what people are trying to do with Wonder Woman. See, Mecha Random and Rakeda voice their display. Yeah, with it too. Yeah, I know that. Think I do know that Nick did a video on it the other day as well. Yeah, basically across the board, it got hammered pretty hard. Let's see. Um, YouTuber Star Wars girl. WTF? Among other things, Diana has blue eyes, not green, right? How the he double hockey sticks do you bleep up your own IP this bad? Former DC Comics artist Mike Miller shared a GIF of Gal Gadot and wrote, "This is Wonder Woman. Veruca Salt up there isn't." Okay, now, for those of you who probably don't get the reference there, Batgoat probably does. Veruca Salt was a character from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. You know, um, So you guys might, unless you guys read the book, or well, there have been a couple of movies on it too. There was one back in the '70s that starred Gene Wilder, and then a more recent one that starred, I think, Johnny Depp. Number, let's see here. Okay, uncreative people that only steal and destroy. Let's see. Gal Gadot is an idiot. Yeah, I've heard some criticism about Willy Wonka. Laugh out loud. Willy Wonka. Yeah. Um. Yeah. Well. Anyways. Moving on here. Stephen Wayne simply wrote, "That's not a superhero." Yeah, I know. When I was watching Yellow Flash's video on it earlier, he was saying that yeah, people expect superheroes to be fit. It kind of reminds me of that Trailblazer superhero Marvel tried to sell with the New Warriors comic. I don't know if you guys remember that one from a few months back. Pseudonym added, "Looks like the gods revoked her beauty." Oh man, now that's funny. Looks like the gods revoked her beauty. That's a good line right there. You guys see that? Looks like the god revoked her beauty. Oh boy. Gotta give S. Miller credit for that joke. S. Miller, I thought his name was pseudonym. His name's, I guess, pseudonym. That was pretty. That was a pretty funny line, though. Jax added, "The color scheme is cool, but the proportions greatly disrespect the character." You think? Ah, and trust me, there are women who detest this imagery just as men do when it comes to obesity. Legit issue. Rooster Teeth tried, but surely took an L with this mess. Laugh out loud. Yeah, Rooster Teeth's has seemingly done a lot of shooting themselves in the foot in the last year and a half, hasn't they? Mike S. Miller and the Veruca. Oh yeah, yeah. That one. Yeah, that was a pretty funny line too. But I thought you were talking about pseudonyms line like right there. But that, yeah. So, um, yeah, and interesting line in that too. Veruca salt, considering all the salt that these SJWs love to stream out. Eisenberg would respond to this criticism on Instagram. She wrote, "So, due to the subject matter of my art, I'm often asked to draw characters inspired by iconic women. Recently, I was asked to create a piece inspired by Wonder Woman in my own style for an upcoming one-off artist collab, short for collaboration." Um, she went on to detail that the character seen on the variant cover is not supposed to be Wonder Woman, but an alien character wearing a Wonder Woman shirt. How convenient! How convenient an explanation, especially after the fact, right? That's a very convenient explanation after the fact, after she gets ratioed you know, after she just, after everybody just dumps on her like um like a dog pile. Okay. Um, so that's just kind of like interesting there. Yeah, she said, well, the only thing is, it's not supposed to be Wonder Woman. It's actually just supposed to be a character who looks like Wonder Woman. Ha ha ha! What? Unha- Unhealthy is not realistic. What a dummy she. Yeah. Again, the SJWs, NPCs just not having a clue. She's a nut job. Yeah, did you? Yeah, um, I'm not sure of this. I'm gonna go back up real quick here. I want to show the picture on the right there. I can't be 100% sure, but I think that's a picture of the artist in question here. I think that's a picture of Robin Eisenberg. Now, let me ask you something. Does she look like she has any real clue as to what Wonder Woman is supposed to be? I mean, think about it. Wonder Woman is. I know in some canon, she actually was made into a god. They actually did give her. They did, divine her basically. Um. So Wonder Woman's supposed to be a god, and she's turning her into this. Go figure, right? Go figure, right, guys? Okay, so moving on with the article here. She went on to detail that the character seen on the variant cover is not supposed to be. Oh, okay, we already read that part. That's right, we already read that part. No. She explained, "I love drawing aliens with realistic body types, living their lives comfortable with themselves. So I drew an alien character with a realistic body, wearing a more everyday version of the Wonder Woman outfit." Yeah, really? Uh, that woman's huge. Eisenberg continued. DC decided they wanted to use this piece for a variant cover in addition to the collab. I didn't realize that featuring a Wonder Woman inspired character with a realistic body type would be controversial. Apparently, it is. Okay, now she's just playing dumb here. Now she's just playing dumb. Okay, basically, if you guys read into that a little bit, she's basically arguing, "Oh, I'm just the artist. I just drew it. They chose to use it. I just simply drew it. Okay, they chose to. I think that's how she's trying to get around it. She's basically trying to claim, "Oh, I just drew the art. I didn't have anything to do with." Well, you kind of did by drawing it in the first place, love. Anyways, give me a sec, guys. Okay, so back to it. Let's see. Um, the DC Nation posted their cover on Twitter and it was immediately met with hundreds of comments hating on her body, as well as the non traditional art style, and on me personally, she added. And then she's got what looks like some kind of like smiley face with glasses on here. It's almost like she's um apparently trying to wear the negative criticism as a badge of honor or something like that. And that goat just said something here. It's not realistic, you SJW whack job. Oh, it looks like we lost somebody. Um, yeah, it's not realistic. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's not like everybody. There's a whole bunch of different body types, but you know, there are those who are extremely fit. There are those who are extremely not fit, and then there's a whole lot more that are in between those two. Ha 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 ha. All right. Well, if anonymity is here, Bat Goat's here, and I'm here, so I guess Woody must have stepped out then. Um, but anyways, so continuing on here then. Um, she wrote, I think one of the reasons I was asked to do this is that I'm not a traditional comic book artist, so I would present something from a different perspective. So apparently, I think it sounds like maybe the editorial staff decided to hire her because they knew that she would probably help push their agenda. That almost sounds like what it is. Eisenberg then concluded the fact that this was so controversial just makes me want to continue to draw diverse body types and create more art that people can hopefully see themselves in. Strength and beauty can come in lots of awesome forms. I don't think one form negates the others. These are these are my thoughts. Uh, Translation: bird flipping the bird, flipping the bird. She's just flipping the bird at everybody. And you guys say flipping the bird, flipping the bird. I'm Robin Eisenberg. I am flipping the bird, flipping the bird, flipping the bird, flipping the bird at you idiots. Oh boy. Let's see. So, how did you guys like my little comedy act there? Uh, Wrong. Strength and beauty comes in a fit and toned form. Yeah. hmm And then they just, of course, there's a rebroadcast. Okay, so here's the next. So on Twitter, Eisenberg would share her Instagram post and there share some additional thoughts. She first wrote TLDR, which I guess means too long, didn't read. Strength and beauty can come in lots of awesome forms. I don't think one, oh, just a repeat of what we just read. She would then add, thank you so much to everyone for the kind words here. It really means a lot. And for anyone who is still upset by this drawing, I hope you continue to enjoy the art and comics that you love. Wow, what an absolutely clueless individual this is. It's like she's in La La Land. It's like she's like I don't know, she dropping acid or something like that. Hey, Bat, go. What do you think? You think that maybe this girl is dropping acid? How about you, Anonymity? and I guess Woody's back too. What do you guys think? You think this girl's dropping acid? Huh? You think she's dropping acid? She's got a screw. I mean, we already mentioned that she's probably got a screw loose, but I wouldn't be surprised if she's dropping acid. And I get that that goat might be the only one who gets the reference there, but and for it to show up here. But, okay, just waiting. Wrong. I was trying to wait for it to, but I can see it on the YouTube page here. Let's see now. Laugh out loud. She's on something. Um, acid would be an easy way out. She is high on her own farts. Yeah. Let me highlight these things. Laugh out loud. She's on something. Mm-hmm. The acid would be an easy way out. Mm-hmm. She is high on her own farts. Yeah. Okay. Finally, she concluded a few. Finally, she concluded. A few of you want me to respond to your criticism, but I think you should reread my above statement. I was asked to draw a Wonder Woman inspired character in my style for a separate collab. I drew this body type out of many options. DC then also used it for a cover. The end. In other words, I'm just the artist. Not my fault that they used it. I'm just the artist. That's her whole argument. I just drew it. Don't kill the messenger. Yeah, that's basically her argument right there. That's the she's obviously high on something, as Batgoat mentioned. Maybe, as I said, maybe she's dropping acid or something like that. Um. So yeah. So let's get back to the article here. Um. And as I mentioned before, um, this guy was in the last article I read about too. DC Comics editor Andy Corey, who oversaw the shutdown of Vertigo Comics. And I remember Flash was talking about this guy earlier too in his video. And Andy Corey is one of the editorial staff who got axed today. So listen to what this clown, listen to what this clown has to say on his way out here. DC Comics editor Andy Corey, who oversaw the shutdown of Vertigo Comics and is recently rumored to have been axed in massive layoffs affecting DC Comics, decided to attack Eisenberg's critics. He wrote, Robin, I'm a DC editor and I love your work. Well, you're not a DC editor anymore. The reaction to the Wonder Woman cover on Twitter was provoked by a small group of trolls and is not representative of the larger sophisticated and enthusiastic readership I've come to know. Dude, you must be smoking crack too. You must be dropping acid too. Oh man. This coming from the guy who just got axed today. He added, Your art is inspiring and your response is wonderful. So courageous and brave. Hey guys, isn't that just so courageous and brave? Isn't Robin? Yeah, let me go on to the. Oh, isn't Robin just so courageous and brave for just doing this, doing Wonder Woman like this? Oh my God, you know. Uh, Remember, these comments are coming from the guy who got axed today. This editor is no longer an editor with DC. He got axed. He got laid off. He got showed the door. He basically they turned his they basically turned him around facing the door and stuck their foot you know where right out the door. They did it with their foot. They did it with a broom. They just this guy as I said, there were probably people, some of the higher ups at DC who were just tired of the get woke, go broke business model. Um, Eisenberg's Instagram is filled with art showing blue and green female creatures, with many of them in much better shape than the character featured on the Rooster Teeth variant cover. You can see a sampling below. So yeah, take a look at some of her work. This is more of her original work on Eisenberg. I'm just kind of scrolling down a little bit more slowly so you guys can take a look. Um, but but how do you feel about these blue coat? Now that one right there looks like she's kind of got a bit of a caboose there. um, I mean her thigh. Look at her thighs, guys. Those thighs look pretty thick, don't you think? What do you make of Eisenberg and Corey's response? Do you believe her explanation that the character is not supposed to be Wonder Woman, but just an alien wearing a Wonder Woman shirt? Well, what do you guys think of that? What do you guys think of that? Do you think that it is what she says, that it's not? Um, what do you guys think of that? What do you guys think of explanation there? That's not supposed to be Wonder Woman, just somebody who was just simply wearing a Wonder Woman shirt. What do you guys think of that? Thick? Nope. Thick? Nope. Yeah, I would say Corey and Eisenberg there are in their own little la la land, little ya ya land, because they pretty much got ratioed hard. She lying, yeah. Again, this is now. I'm sure you guys will probably end up agreeing with what I'm about to say here, but this is what I think happened. So they released the variant cover on Friday. Then all the backlash came against it. And so she thought, well, what do I say? What do I say? Oh, actually, it's not supposed to be Wonder Woman. It's actually supposed to be somebody inspired by Wonder Woman. You know, I think her statement's more a CYA statement. You guys know what a CY, you know what CYA is, right? You guys know what a I personally think, just from what I'm interpreting, it's a her statement there was a CYA statement. Sorry, I had to step out and water my plants. That's cool. It's too hot to forget the little guys. Yeah, well, I mean, it is August. Not me. CYA. Cover your hiney. That's what it. Yeah, Bat Goat got it. Oh, yeah. I mean, it's. I think her statement is. I, I'm sure you guys would agree. It's a cover your hiney statement. It's like she got ratioed bad. She got a negative response, and now she's trying to cover her rear end. You know, I mean, from the deflecting to blaming them for for her whole. Well, I'm just the artist. I just drew the picture. I didn't have anything to do with it being published, and to all the parties involved knew what they were doing. They just didn't expect the backlash, and that backlash got Mr. Corey fired. I mean, that's pretty much long and the short of it. So, anyways, so those are two stories. As I said, I'm gonna try to keep these under an hour and a half for the next few days until I upgrade on Friday. Because I told Anonymity this earlier. I didn't realize this. I'm on the free plan, but the free plan has only a limited amount of hours, so I have to upgrade if I want to do what I plan on doing. Um, but I'll do that at the end of the week here. SJWs think they are allowed to insult customers due to right think. They are wrong. The failing industry and layoffs prove it. Yeah, you're absolutely right, Bat Goat. You're absolutely right. I know Tug hasn't been covering comics as much. He's been more or less focused on the whole Johnny Depp Amber Heard story, but I would have liked to hear what he had to say on this. I'd like to have him in here to get his 2 cents on some of this stuff. But anyways, um, they can't go unemployed quick enough. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, you just saw the massive layoffs. I mean, they pretty much shot themselves in the foot on that one. You know, there were some people higher up at DC who just basically said, "Hey, we're not happy with this get woke, go broke stuff." So, um, so yeah, what did Bat Goat say there? True that. Yeah, true that. All right. What I think, man. Yeah. So let me see here. Let's see what else is going on here. Okay. Okay. Well, I the main stories, of course, are done now. So I'm gonna jump right. I'm gonna jump right into this day in Nietzsche history. Back out. This is your favorite segment. This day in Nietzsche history. So today being August the 12th, let's look back on this day in history. And I just need to review real quick here. Okay, so we pretty much know where we're going here. well, this one we can get rid of that because yay! Uh-huh. Okay, so let me see here. Let me get the share screen going here. Let's see now. So let's get to the first thing here. Okay, so on this date in 1998, which was 22 years ago, Marvel Comics released on the newsstand the 440th issue of Amazing Spider-Man. Um, the series would run through, I guess, issue 489, but this is 440 issue. It featured the story "A Hot Time in the Old Town," written by John L. Byrne. Um, John L. Byrne was the one who wrote it. The editor on this was Ralph Macchio. I don't know. I don't think that's the same Ralph Macchio though, who was in the Karate Kid, but I could be wrong. But yeah. So on this date, 22 years ago, um, DC Comics would release Amazing Spider-Man number 440. So moving on to the next one, then the next this day in history. Okay, for the pro wrestling fans out there, and I know I'm probably the only one, but sure. On this date in 2020 years ago, Combat Zone Wrestling, which was a hardcore independent federation based out of like New Jersey area. Basically, just think of uh, dingier ECW. Okay. Um, from the Chant Sports Arena in Shule, New Jersey, they held their blood, sweat, and violence in a barbed wire, whips, and boards lumberjack three-way dance. Lobo would win the title, beating champion Justice Payne and Zandig. Also on the card, in a CZW Ironman title match, champion Nick Gage would retain his title over Madman Bondo in a no contest. Um, Nick Mondo, Rick Blade would beat the Backseat Boys for the CZW Tag Team title, and then in a dog collar match would end in a no contest between Mercury and Nate Hatred. So those are more or less the. Now, granted, I know you guys probably don't know a whole lot of who a lot of those people are. That's fine. I know you guys aren't much wrestling. Um, Uh, yeah, I know. I actually, Woody, I actually talked about that yesterday. Yeah, he died on Sunday. He, they said that he caught COVID on Wednesday, but what a lot of people didn't realize, well, one, he was 70 years old. Okay. But he was really had some real major health issues these last few years. Um, high blood pressure, diabetes. And it's kind of a sad story in a way because Kamala was 6'7", 380 pounds. This was a monster heel. They often put up against Andre the Giant, against some of the monster faces like Andre the Giant, Hulk Hogan. He had that very famous casket match with The Undertaker, so but yeah, in the last few years here, he had he had started to really suffer. Yeah. 70 is pretty amazing for an ex wrestler. So many sad stories. Well, yeah, again, in Kamala's case, it was really because these last few years, I mean, his wife had commented on the fact that she believes he may have caught the COVID on one of his trips to the dialysis center because he was. I mean, he had both of his legs amputated because of his diabetes. I hope he went peacefully. Well, as I understand it, he was he was diagnosed with COVID. Like he had gotten the COVID diagnosis a week ago, last Wednesday, and he was apparently doing well. And then all of a sudden, he just had I guess on Sunday he had a cardiac arrest. So he probably did, but that's at least with COVID. That not trying to be morbid or anything here, but maybe catching COVID is a blessing in disguise in a way, because then at least particularly for those who are suffering from illnesses like his, you know, for them, COVID is likely a death sentence, and at least at least he probably didn't suffer for too much longer. You have people who talk about, oh yeah, we gotta save them from COVID, but then what's the point of saving these people from COVID if you're saving them so they can suffer a few more years of the diseases that they're you know already going through. I mean, that's just you know. Give me a sec, guys. Okay. Anyways, yeah, but with that though, I don't think he did suffer, because from what I understand, he was actually recovering, and then he just all of a sudden had the cardiac arrest. So that was that. So now moving on to now moving. Okay. Let's see. At some Okay, at some point, I guess you make that decision. Yeah. Mhm. All right. So moving on to the next point in history here. Let's see. Okay. Okay. So here we go. Here's the next thing. So on this date back in 2008, um, which was 12 years ago today, um, Yen Press licensed the series SS Astro, literally translated Teach Worship Astro. Astro stands for Asahio Sogo Teachers Room. On this date, Yen Press licensed the English release of the manga. Um, SS Astro was a Japanese four-panel comic strip manga, and on this date in 2008, Yen Press licensed the first volume the English first volume release of it. So, um, and um, finally, one last piece of this day in niche history. Uh, okay. So on this date, 3 years ago, um, a rebooted version of DuckTales, a 2017 version, um, made its debut on Disney XD. It debuted, premiered on this date in 2017, 3 years ago. So this is the 2017 version of DuckTales. This isn't the one from back in the 80s. This was the newer one they came out with. So so there you go. So those are the things that happened on this date in niche history, guys. Um, I thank you guys for coming in tonight. Hope you guys will be back tomorrow night so we can have some more fun looking at some of the. I know old school Ducktales. Didn't know there was a 2017. Yeah, there was. I think they still show it. In fact, on Disney. I haven't actually seen it, but boo! It stinks. I only watched one episode. So woke and pad OG Ducktales. Yeah, the OG. Yeah, I'm granted I haven't seen the newer Ducktales, but I'm probably sure I'd agree with you on that one. Usually reboots, remakes like that aren't as good as the originals. Ah, woke is broke. Yep, woke is broke. All right, guys. Well, thank you all for coming in. Um, for those of you who um, have not subscribed yet, I would hope that you would subscribe. I appreciate that you guys like and share the streams. Hopefully, we can get some more people in here, get the conversation going more. As I said, I'm for the next few days, I'm going to try to keep these under an hour and a half. Keep my hours down until I upgrade. I plan on upgrading on Friday. So, anyways, thank you guys for joining me tonight, and I hope to see you guys tomorrow. Thank you for the stream. You're welcome, Admin, and thank you for joining me for the stream. Peace out. Great stream. See you next time. See you tomorrow night, guys. Hopefully. Bye.